of the character. The rim lighting is definitely very important. Many artists would draw like one line, but you gotta also understand that our subject has forms, and there must be always thick to thin in rim lighting. So be sure to be more precise in that. Like even for the hair, I'm not just drawing one line. I give like thick and thin, and that's actually show more detail and define more of your character form. That will help your character pop way more than you might think. I've learned a lesson from other artists is that sometimes adding more detail does not mean that adding like literally adding more detail. Sometimes adding more detail is defining the highlight, the form properly with the highlight layer. So yeah, that's one way to put it. So yeah, we gotta be more precise in this stage, at this stage. We can definitely make this sharper. Let's take a look close and not close. Yeah, it's right there. And just like this tail, right now we have a very ugly and boring line. We can also make that look better just by giving it a little bit of forms. Remember, if you want to erase, this is soft edges, so use a round brush to do that as well. I would like to gloss that up a little bit more. And probably we can also define the shadow. Can push and pull things with highlight layer or even overlay layer. So I wanted this area to be slightly more pushed in. So maybe we can even pick the shadow area below to push that in. And because we have a shadow right here, right now we have the liberty to also add reflected light below the thighs. So what we can do is also add some reflected light like that. Let's be more precise because unfortunately we have merged down, so we have to be very precise on this one and not being able to rely on our masking. There'll be a reflected light, like blue light bounces from the bottom. So looking at this, push our character back a little bit more and give it more volume to the thigh behind. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. Same goes for this thigh. We can also add more reflected light around the stocking. Here. And also a little bit here. Yes. Pushing and pulling. Constantly pushing and pulling. Let's do some tests with the bunch of hair here. Right now this hair is too heavy, a little bit too heavy on the entire piece. And also it lacks like a core shadow around the highlight. So what we can do is since we already have the highlight, we can just add a core shadow around it. So that will also help us enhance the highlight that we added in. But yeah, this bunch of hair should be refined in proportion, because we shouldn't define it too much, as this is looking very heavy on the piece right now. I might need to blur it even more. Well, probably what we can do is maybe give it more holes so that it does not look as heavy. Yeah, I kind of like this cut because there's a thick to thin. Also, we need to remember that this is there's a blur, so I'm going to use some feather on our lasso tool to make sure that the edges is blurred as well. We can also go into then paint in some part that requires some detail, or like make the silhouette less plain, because right now it's just a curve. And yeah, so far so good. Value check. I think that we can push out the value of the front wing a little bit more. So this part, we're gonna lasso it a bit and go to the highlight layer, and we probably need to use a saturated color to pull that out. Yes. And I feel that we can also make it better by darkening this part a little bit more. Or maybe we have a fog in front, that's why it's looking not as dark. Oh yeah, we do indeed. So what we need to do is remove that fog a little bit more so that we show detail. So there's more depth to the wings here. And then yeah, at this point I'm just staring at the piece and think of where I can add more detail. This point is about done already. So what we can do is remove some speckle. Oh yes, I know. I definitely forgot to blur out the speckle. So I'm going to duplicate it first and do a motion blur to the entire speckle. And what we can also do is right now the speckle is going in one parallel direction. We can also take this highlight some of the speckle and then just do a warp tool, and we can warp it so that it flows like a stream of current in the space, and that will give it a little bit more life to the wind element. And this part definitely needs to also be warped. There you go. And let's definitely check with flipping Control Alternate Shift E. It will copy paste your picture to the top. If your file is really heavy, checking it like that would be more ideal. So image flip horizontal. So see, we like it. So far so good. I feel that we can give her a more darkened silhouette around here so that she can be pulled out more. We probably can darken the neck area here so that we see more of her neck as well. So we see more of her face as well. And darken this part more. So let's check. Let's flip the picture back in. Let's check. Yeah, indeed, that's what we need to do. I will do it again because I was doing it flat on the picture. Sometimes you have to do that so that you can check properly. What layer is this? No, nothing. At this point, we have a lot of iteration of the character already. You can always fall back if you need to, but I'm really happy with the result so far. Oh, we can use a highlight for this instead. Sorry, maybe shadow. So that's, oh no, too much colors. So mid-tone still the best. And the last part could be just adding some reflected light on the background, some ambient light. Maybe the cloud is catching some light below her. What we can do is have a gradient, using gradient and just pull out a blue color, light blue, and put it up like that. We can maybe we can put this on top as well. Looking very, yeah, and then we soften this a little bit. This helps us with a little bit with the composition as well, because it's softening this part, so I wouldn't flow down too much. The way this can be 8 pixel, delete. We can definitely blur this away. And also lighten it. And I find that there's this part of the loon is too bright, so again we can make a light layer, set it to darker color, and maybe darken just the part a little bit. Change the color a little bit to fit the entire piece. I definitely don't want it to be red. Yeah, red is a very strong color, and I tend to flow towards red color. So be sure to use lesser red on the secondary areas. And then let's go back to the debris. I find that there's too much detail here, so I'm going to shift some of the debris over to the bottom part. And what we can do is the fog that we added previously, or this. Oh, it's here. Sorry, this layer can be stronger, or it can be shaped in a better way, because right now it just looks like a smoke right here, but I think it can have a nicer shape. Like kind of like a mist, or like cloud puffing through the cloud kind of look to it as well. For that. So maybe she just like poof all out of the smoke. So this is like a FX layer drawing some speed line of the cloud. Maybe not here. Too much detail. We can't really see it here because of the cloud behind. As we can go to the cloud below and work on the cloud a little bit more. It's not important, to be honest. Like the cloud at this point, it already fulfilled the objective it should be doing. It looks like a cloud and it's adding it's fulfilling the compositional line that I wanted. As long as the cloud look like cloud, I'm already happy. I just hope that there's not too much detail on the cloud that's too distracting. So again, yeah, push and pull the detail. So value check, do we like it? I'm just trying out another pass. It might work, it might not work. So darkening areas. Oh yeah, what we can also do is to we have this. We can also go into blending option, and there's something called the underlying layer. So what this does is to is to adjust your painting. Underlying layer. So if I pull this, we should be using the underlying. If I pull this up, it will affect only the light and not the shadow. If I pull this down, it will affect only the shadow and not the light. And in this case, I want the white to pop. I want this highlight to be very strong. So maybe we can try with just this. So look, we have something going on right here. The white is popping very nicely, but the colors of the shadow is not looking that good. Maybe a 10% would be nice. Yeah, not as much. Yeah, I don't want the color to go really dark. And I want it to be blue. Let's check again. I don't really like the blue because the blue makes the skin color really ugly. Maybe red? Let's look at the color variation. Yeah, it certainly destroys some detail. And if we don't like it, we can pull this higher. And then let me try fixing this part of the eye. I think that the gloss on the moving to the left a little bit, as in moving it to the right a little bit, will make her look as if she's facing us more. Also, I personally feel that the nose right now is very strong in terms of lighting. Perhaps we can tone it down a little bit. Always is the face. So with the face that is taking so much time, but it's all worth it at the end. Let's go. Maybe 30%. And we don't like the amount of. Looking good. Let's double check again. And more or less from now onwards, the final compositing is done, and for the next few videos is going to be just retouching and fixing some minor things on the character. And I'll see you guys on the next lesson. Bye bye.